Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and today, tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into my go-to bourbons for a bottle share. But before we get into that, please do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. But let's get into this. So, I'm talking bourbons that I'm going to bring to a bottle share. It's fun to have people try new things they've never tried before. So I like to focus on that rather than just bringing them the greatest bottle ever. If you can combine those two together, that would be great. But again, my primary focus is bottles that you've never tried. With it being the summer, I find myself doing a lot of get-togethers, having people around, bringing whiskey to places because there's a lot of parties going on. So these have been the ones I've started to really gravitate towards. So I thought, you know what the heck, let's make a video out of this. So I'm going to kick it right off with my two kind of start the party, get the party going, kind of rev up the engines bourbons that I'm going to bring to a party, which is going to be Cooper's Craft 100, which is, Cooper's Craft 100, as well as Jack Daniel's Bib, the old bottling, the good bottling. And the reason I'm picking these two have been my go-to for bringing to parties, events, so on and so forth over the last few weeks because they're not in my area. Cooper's Craft is an absolute monster brown format bottle. This might be the best 100 proof $30 bourbon out there. Maybe. Again, that seems bold to say without blinding things, but out of all of the 100 proof brown format products that I have that are like under $30, I'll even put in the Barton products too, because they're a little bit banana-y. This stomps all of them. This, again, best $30 bourbon, kind of, I think. Again, I'd love to blind it, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. And same with this. This is I want to say really limited and allocated because I don't know what level of allocation this is in. I know this used to be a Traveler's exclusive, and I think it still kind of is. I got it on a military post. So I really like this. This is like the Jack Daniel's Bonded we should have gotten because this is absolutely fantastic. This is really, really good compared to that other bonded is just okay. It's okay. It's a little bit too sweet where this one has a lot more depth and complexity compared to it. And that's like a $30 liter, which is a fantastic price. I'm hoping that they have that at my local post because if we're being honest, it's like 45 minutes away, but I might be willing to make that drive every quarter or so just to have that as like a daily drinker. Now we're starting to get into the more kind of harder to find, the hitters, the, not the quitters. Maybe not hitters because again, I don't hunt enough to have like a crap ton of hitters to be like, oh, hey, try these. But these are bottles that not everyone's going to be able to find in their area and or bottles that they might not have heard of or found in the shops because maybe they never exist or maybe they're hard to find, so on and so forth. And my go-to for a while, because this is pretty empty, Jeppson's Bourbon Company Single Barrel MGP Finish in Cognac from Storytime. So this is a 6.5-year-old MGP pick that is a total freaking monster. This is like poor man's cigar batch, but not like in a way where it's derogatory, where it's like, oh, hey, like this is like, bad, but it's like close enough, similar flavor profile. Like this has beaten some people's cigar batches. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but I've seen quite a few people who have tried this say that. And honestly, Storytime's an incredible, picker and all that stuff. Shane, he does a fantastic job. So I love bringing that out because one, it's a monster of a pick. It supports a company or a person brand I like a lot. And I mean, it kind of changes your perspective of what Jeppson's can do too, because I mean, that was their barrel that was picked. So it just goes to show. And again, monster bottle. You can never go wrong with a monster bottle. And on that same theme, never going to find these ever again. Probably, maybe, hopefully we'll see these again. But these are the old school knobs. When the knob was the best. And not to say that Knob's not good nowadays, because there are a lot of really good Knob Creek single barrels out there, but this was back in the day when you could get a 14-year-old Knob Creek store pick for like 50 bucks. 50, 60, 49.99, whatever the case may be. 14-year-old 120 proof beam juice is absolutely incredible. This is one of the rare limited allocated bourbons that I covet severely, and that's a bottle that's impossible to find again. Like, no one's gonna find it unless if they have some oldie goldies hidden around in their back stash. Another one that doesn't have distribution in my area. And again, I'm bringing these to people around my area, not really sending these ones out in this specific case, but I'm picking bottles that I can't find in my area, which is Starlight Starbright. We get a lot of MGP in Arizona, a lot of it. There's a lot of MGP stuff. So when you see Indiana on a bottle, you're always like, oh, that's MGP. This stuff is also from Indiana, but it is not MGP. This stuff is fantastic, fantastic. A little bit craftier, a little bit youthier, more, has a little bit more youthful notes in it. They're making some phenomenal like 4 to 5 year old products, 4.5, and they typically focus, at least the ones I've purchased, and that could just be my bias of what I purchase online, but they typically focus on the whole finishing. This one is my personal favorite. This is a sherry finish one, and y'all know I'm a sucker for sherry. I like that like almondy, raisiny nuttiness that the sherry flavor brings, and I think it does a really, really complementary flavor to their original flavor profile as a whole. I really wish I could get those in my area because they're the perfect proof, and they're only like 60 bucks, 65 bucks, so they're the perfect proof, decent age, has a nice price point on it, and they're almost always finished, which is just absolutely awesome. And they're not finished poorly either, which that's starting to be something that I've noticed. I've had a few finished bottles that aren't up to my par recently, so I'm starting to worry that maybe finishing wasn't the best move for everyone. And then after that one, probably the biggest monster I'm bringing out outside of that Knob Creek, Woodford Reserve Masters Collection Batch Proofs. I have something I would call a dumb luck. These are one of the few rare, limited, allocated, schmallocated, ballocated bottles every single year that I seemingly for the last 2 years, so hopefully we'll make, 3 this year, that I've been able to get at the end of the year for some reason, which is fantastic because I'm a sucker for these bottles. So I like to bring them out because a lot of people know Woodford Reserve. It's a huge brand. Everyone typically knows them and whatnot, but a lot of them have never tried them at cask strength, and they are missing out because those are some of the greatest cask strength bottles, especially 2022. Man, that thing was a monster. Honorable mention, something extremely local, which I know I've been saying like, oh, hey, I'm going to try to focus on things that aren't local, but I also do like to focus on some craft local stuff. So for a lot of you out there, this isn't going to be a bottle you'll be able to find, but for some of you, if you're in Arizona, this is a bottle y'all need to try to get. For me, Adventure Stills Peralta Bourbon. But just imagine it's any really quality local craft bourbon. And if you don't know of any of your local craft bourbons that are out there that are quality, again, I say quality, quality, quality. If you don't have any out there, or if you don't know of any, it sounds like you need to go searching for a quality local craft distillery that makes a really, really good bourbon. If you're going to a bottle share, you should bring something that's local craft to your area so you can support your local distilleries. And also, if you have some buddies that are in the area that haven't checked them out yet, it gets some exposure there. So I think that's really awesome. But that is a wrap for today's video. Please do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. Let me know down below, what would your bottles you're bringing to a bottle share be? Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. Links for all that stuff are down there below. That is a wrap for today's video. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later.